today I want to talk about just some of the basics regarding PVC pipe that you see here and how it's glued together, some tips and tricks to make sure that it seals nice and tight so you don't have any leaks. I want to put this in a position so I can cut it. I want to take this is just a wooden clamp, and this is going to hold the PVC pipe to the table so that I can cut just a section of this off. And this is how this works. These actually have a little button here which allows you to slide it up to whatever length you want. And once you get it where you want it, get it snug, then you use this to tighten it the rest of the way so it won't move. So that's what we're going to do. A lot of people are intimidated by plumbing, electrical, and again, you should be cautious, and if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not comfortable, always hire somebody. So PVC pipe is used in a lot of drain situations, so whether it's your sinks going from your bathrooms to your sewer or your septic, or whether it's your main where everything pours into. These pipes here, the 1.5 inch or the 2 inch lines, are usually what's used to drain your sinks. Typically your toilet is PVC pipe this size. So a lot of toilets will use this size pipe. So if you've ever wondered, typically when you see this, this is for toilet waste, and then this is for sink waste. And what happens is, depending on how your house is set up, especially on the second floor, even if you have drains like this for your tubs and your sinks, they all lead to and pour into your main, which this is a 4 inch main that leads down out to the sewer or out to your septic. So when you see plumbers and they're working with PVC, again, this is just for the beginners that have no knowledge of how any of this stuff works. So let's say, for example, you want your thing to be a certain length because you've already done your measurements and you know you need a 3 inch piece of pipe. Just take your tape measure, mark it, let's say 3 inches. So you mark where you want it cut. Most of you are familiar with a hacksaw. That's what this is. And then all you want to do, make sure that's good and tight. You can see where my mark is here, and I'm just going to cut through it. Try to cut straight because you don't want to get some weird angle or something like that. So you want to try to keep your blade as straight as you can while you're cutting through. And there's other quicker options to do this. I'm just showing you using the hacksaw. There's other tools that you can use to cut. You can use an oscillating tool. You could use a miter saw. You could use a regular circular saw. Use a grinder. Yeah, my thing is coming loose here. All right. Okay, so once you've got your PVC pipe cut, as you can see, for the most part, it's pretty straight. What you don't want is some weird angle like that, because once you go to seat it in where it needs to be seated to, you don't want to have an issue of any leaks. So yeah, it's not as straight as this side, which is the factory, but if you're worried about it being perfectly straight, use a miter saw or a sawzall or an oscillating tool similar to this, where it actually can cut through as well. So what you'll notice is it's not as nice and smooth as this side is. Okay, so what you want to do is you need to clean up all these burrs or all this rough stuff. So you can use, some people will use a knife like this and they will go on the inside. For me, I always felt more comfortable using a light sandpaper, just something to roughen it up. And it also kind of smooths out this portion here. So when you're gluing PVC pipe together, when you go to the plumbing store, make sure that you tell the associate at the store, then they're going to know. So if you're buying, like for example, this is 1.5 inch pipe. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a coupler that's made for 1.5 inches. I don't have any on hand to show you. I'm sorry that I don't. But a coupler is basically, it's just a piece that fits over the top of this that will connect this pipe to the other side of your pipe. And again, it's made to where it's just a hair bigger than this pipe here. So basically the way it would look is, let's say for example I had the coupler there. The coupler comes to about here and then about here. So what it is, when you go to the store and you ask the plumber, say, hey, I need to fix my drain, I need 10 feet of PVC pipe that's 1.5 inches or 2 inches or 4 inches, and you need the couplers to match. They're going to give you the right size for that. So what happens is you need to clean up this side, you need to clean up this side, and you also need to put primer and glue on both sides as well as on the inside as the coupler that will connect these two pipes. And like I said, I don't have the coupler to show you, but I'm going to show you on another piece of PVC pipe. So every plumbing supply store or every box store will sell purple primer. It's usually always purple, which makes it easier to identify if you're using the right stuff, especially if you're not real familiar or comfortable doing this. The one thing you don't want to do is put the cement on first, okay? So typically what you do is you take your primer. Your primer comes in these little jars. And like I said, it's this pretty color purple. I love it. So just like in my suggestion, you see where the pencil mark is. So my coupler is going to go over here. So what I want to do is I want to use this primer to clean this outer edge. Very important that you clean this. So what this primer does is the chemicals that are in it will clean off any dirt, any debris, things of that nature. Now it won't get indentations or the scuff stuff off, so you have to scrape that off with your sandpaper like I mentioned. But you'll notice, just go over it 10-15 times and make sure it's good and clean. Don't worry about the excess. That stuff can sit there. And the thing is, you're going to do this on this pipe, and you're also going to do it on this side as well. And then when you get your coupler, let's say for example this is your coupler and your coupler fits over the top of this. Your coupler is going to have these little lips on the inside, so it stops it from going too far this way or going too far that way. So what will happen is, once you have your coupler on, you're going to put the primer inside there on both sides where you're connecting your pipe, and you're also going to put the glue. And then once you put the coupler over the one side, you hold it down, let it harden, or just let it sit there for about 10 seconds to make sure. Because what happens is, the way the chemicals work, if you just put it on there, it would actually slowly start to move off of that groove. So you kind of have to hold it down for about 10 seconds and it'll stay seated. So the next thing, once you get your primer on, you want to take your PVC pipe. It looks almost like identical, at least as far as the little cotton swab thing on the end. So you take your glue, do exactly what you did on the last one. Take your glue, spread it around your PVC pipe. And once you get it on there, you're going to take your little coupler and you're going to slide it down over the glue. Again, remembering to put the glue here. Primer first, glue second, primer, glue, and then glue them together. You don't necessarily have to put glue on both sections. If you put enough glue on here, it will adhere. I've seen both. I've seen where people have put the glue here and the glue here, and then I've seen it where people just put the glue on the PVC pipe. That's your preference. But anyway, once you get those glued together, hold it for about 10 seconds. And then once you get the one side done, then you get your other piece of pipe. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Take your primer, clean this side, take your glue, put that on, put the primer in the other side of the coupler, and then slide the other side. And then hold them together. And then after about 10 seconds, you have joined 2 pieces of PVC pipe together, and those things will not go nowhere, nor should they leak. So again, this is just the basics for the novice, the very basic beginner, just to understand a little bit about how PVC pipe works. So if you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comment section. Please make sure you like this video, comment on this video, and share this video, and I will see you on the next one.